you do, my gente? Your boys coming through once again. Today we're gonna do a reaction video on Rascal from Baker's Street from Orange County. This guy came on couple interviews on the channel letters written by current prisoners. And you know what? I know this guy, and I'm just gonna speak on what he's talking about and see what's up. I'm just gonna go on his childhood because I know him from the juvie. From the juvie, your boy got locked up over there in Orange County, and he was doing some time over there. So we're gonna speak on this guy real quick, and we'll see what's up with this story, man. So let's go. Let's do this.
It's a life for you, eh? It's really not. All people do here is politic on the next man and all that. And what politicking is hating on the next person. Nobody will ever get far in this game. I guarantee it. You will never see a retired MM member. You will never see a retired 2-5er member that's actually in good standings. It's either you're going full force forever, or something you did knocked you down a notch and you are not on disregard now. But you can never make it. There's no retirement benefits for this. It's either death or jail. That's all it is, and it's always gonna be like that.
So what are they called?
So there it is, man. This guy, I seen couple of his interviews, and I was gonna see like what's up, right? And a lot of his interviews, he goes on some other tip. He goes on something else. But right here, what he's saying is something that makes sense and it's true. Whenever you join a gang, doesn't matter what it is, you will never benefit from it. You will never benefit. Everything you do is for the benefit of the gang, not for the benefit of you as a person, And even though we chase that our lifestyle because of whatever reason we have, most likely it's for acceptance, for the seeking of a brotherhood from somebody else, or coming from broken homes and stuff like that. And whatever it is, man, once we join that gang, we just throwing our life away, So his statements right now, they make a lot of sense, and I concur with what he's saying.
Are you?
They call me Rascal.
Rascal, what are you incarcerated for, and how long is your sentence?
I'm busted for involuntary manslaughter. I got 31 years.
Where are you from out here on the streets?
I'm from Fullerton, Baker Street, Orange County.
I want to go ahead and say thank you so much, sir, for allowing me to be able to share your story, to be able to ask you questions, and for giving us a piece of your mind, man. This is an open platform. This is your interview, your video. So I just want you to know that feel free and feel comfortable to say whatever you'd like.
Yeah, and I appreciate you just giving me this platform to talk, because not a lot of people do this for me, so I appreciate that a lot.
Most definitely, sir. Most definitely, sir. So I understand we're going to go ahead and talk about your case. I'm going to go ahead and let you break it down and take a start and let us know exactly what it is that happened, man. So the floor is all yours, sir, and take your time.
All right, I appreciate that. All right, well, I'm going to take it back to 95, right? Well, in 1995, my dad died. Well, no, I'm sorry, 1990, my dad died. He died of AIDS, right? So when my dad died, my mom was like a crackhead, right? She's from La Jolla, a gang called La Jolla in Orange County, Placentia. So my grandparents took me and my sisters in because no one else would take us, and they didn't want us in a foster home. So that's who raised me since I was a kid. But when I was 8 years old, my grandparents gave me away because they couldn't handle my outbursts of anger. And I would get pretty crazy. They had me on some pills called difficult, but it had like zombies, so they took me off of that. Well, from when I was 8, I was in group homes, and I would run away, and I would run away, and I'd run away, and
So the guy Rascal had a difficult childhood, man. No dad. The mom was a crackhead, and all that equals basically what you see in your screen. I mean, somebody who's basically spending all his life in prison, who is all tatted, who basically, I mean, he didn't have no role model at home. The dad, his dad died. Uh, his mom was a crackhead. Dude, he's the clear example of what happens to a kid who grows up in that environment, and here it is, you know. But we're gonna go right here and talk about some interesting things, right? Some interesting things right now, you know. Let me see.
they keep snatching me up and taking me back. Well, in 1998, I joined a gang called Baker Street, Westside Fullerton, and from there on until I got busted, I was just putting in work. I've been to YA.
Okay, let's just stop right there. 1998, he joined a gang called Baker Street, Baker Street, right from Fullerton. So he's been putting in work. Well, I remember seeing him in juvenile hall, and for what I recall, especially in juvie, he was not putting in work in juvie. He was usually on I on I unit, which was basically if you've been locked up on the juvie right there in Orange County, uh, that is a unit for people who are suicidal, who pe- for people who are not all there. You know, it's basically a lockdown unit, and you don't got no contact with nobody. Well, Rascal, he was not like that. But the thing about Rascal is that his hood had a lot of enemies. His hood had a lot of enemies, and he got locked up, every time he got locked up, he requested to go to that unit because he was a lockdown unit, and he always used to ask for the staff, which her name was what was her name? Miss Guzman. I think it was Miss Guzman. That was her name, and she was a staff. And he always used to ask for her. Like, hey, can you tell her I said hi to Miss Guzman and try and get over there? And he always gets the used to get the trustee spot. So what this means? Basically, he's in a lockdown unit where there's all these kids who they got different issues, man. They got when I said a lot of issues, they got a lot of issues. There's kids right there that they're not right. They're suicidal. They do a lot of things for attention. You know, there was this girl named Maddie that she ate just to catch somebody's attention. She ended up eating I think she ate a paper clip. They opened her stomach up to take that thing out, and eventually, once she was bored and wanted to have more attention, she would take her stitches up and open herself up and play with her insides, man. And dude, that unit was like people were not right. But again, Rascal used to ask for that unit based on the fact that there was no enemies right there, and he was able to run around because he was the trustee. He's right in the head, so he could run around, pass things from cell to cell and stuff like that. So he, for my recall, he never put in work in the juvie, for what I recall, man. And I remember talking or asking about him, you know, because I used to see him sometimes. I'd be like, "What's up, that guy?" And I remember his face. It was and I remember a couple of his homeboys that they're right there, like Clever, Scrappy, Boo Boo, you know, and those guys were actually on the main line on those juveniles, and they put it down again. Remind you, Baker Street from Fullerton had a lot of enemies. So Rascal was not putting in work right there. He was basically hiding in this pot, and that's what it is. I know he a couple of his stories he's talking about doing all these crazy stuff in prison and stuff like that. And there's a lot of loopholes on his stories and stuff like that, but I cannot confirm whether those stories are true or not. I can only go throw my opinion on things that doesn't make sense, and that's it. But this I witnessed, and I'm gonna tell you right now, he was not putting in work. He was hiding in those in that unit where all the kids with issues were staying at.
I've been through all that stuff, but that's neither here or there. Here, let me take you to like when I got busted. The day I got busted, I was at my grandma's funeral all day that day, all day. Like I was so like distraught. I was crying all day. You know, it was really hard for me. I couldn't believe like the person that raised me was dead. Well, I from that day, from that moment on, like I just like lost control. My sister came to me earlier and she was like, "Look, Tommy." Well, that's what they call me, Tommy, not Rascal. They call me Tommy. So she came and she goes, "Look, your grandpa needs you to come stay at the house." So so we're around him. So I said, "Okay, let's go." Well, when we make a right on Martin, there's an undercover cop pulled up on the side with the lights off. So I tell my sister, keep going, keep going. I had a gun on me. Well, she's like, what do you want me to do? I was like, well, just drop me off in the hood. Well, she was against it, but I kept like begging her, and I was like, look, I'll just get out the car and go, because all I care about is my neighborhood. That's all I cared about. So she took me over there and she dropped me off. Right when I dropped off, I went upstairs because we were at the Atrium Apartments, and that's right there in the neighborhood. And when I walked up the stairs, I seen all the homies kicking it right there. It was my homeboy Christopher Cali, Tripper, Negro. It was my homeboy Avery, my homegirl Michelle, my homeboy Bugsy, my homegirl Brittany, my homegirl's mom Irma. Well, as soon as I walked in, my homeboy Tripper just got out, so I gave him a big old hug. I was like, "What's up? What's cracking with you?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm just right here. I just got out." Well, anyways, I give the money to Irma. I was like, "Hey, go buy us some pisto." And she was like, "Okay, well, can I get some money too?" So I gave her like an extra $10, and she bounces. Right? She takes off. Me and the homies are right there kicking it. We're chopping it up, talking about the next holiday. We're gonna go bust on these fools in Tokerstown. Right? And my homeboy pulls out a big old start-off shotgun. And I was like, man, that's crazy. So we started tripping out on the gun that my homeboy Avery.
Tell me who didn't have that homie who had that bagel gun with him, and he put it down his pants and trying to walk with that thing, man. I witnessed that. It was some retarded times, man, back in those days, man. But I mean, right there kicking with the homeboys, and we'll see what happens. Let's see what's going on with this story, man, because it's getting pretty interesting right now.
We brought, and then, anyways, we get a call. And when we hear the call, Michelle takes it and she goes into her apartment because we were in 219 and Michelle lived in 220. So she takes it over there. The next thing she knows, she comes running into the apartment, like crying, like hysterical. And we jump up and she was like, oh my God, you don't know what just happened. Some fool just said, fuck Baker Street. He just he smacked Shirley on the ass and he's like pulled out a gun on my mom, right? All the homies jump up and take running outside. I don't run outside. I run into Michelle's house. And when I run into Michelle's house, I grab the gun. And when I grabbed it was in the shoebox in her dresser. And man, I grabbed the gun out of the dresser and I opened up the box and it was a 380. It was like,
All right. So this guy came and said, "Fuck his hood," right? And he slapped somebody on the ass and pulled a gun on the mom. Wow, like that's a crazy scenario right there, you know. And the fact that he went for everybody run for the incident, but he went for that gun, and somehow he knew where that gun was at. Hopefully, maybe the friend told him that she had put it right there. But let's see what's up with this story.
a high point 380 all made out of plastic. So I grabbed it. I run outside. Right when I ran through the apartments, down the stairs, through the by the pool, out through the front gate, and across the street. When I get inside of the store, some fool turns to me.
Damn, he went on a mission. He already knew where he was at, you know, because even though he spent all that time going for the gun, running the opposite way, he seemed to catch up to that person, right?
And he's like, him and my homeboy Tripper, they're like, look like they're about to fight. So I run up. I was like, hey, Tripper, what's up? And then that fool turned to me and he goes, hey, homie, where are you from? And I start laughing. And I tell Tripper, I was like, hey, is this motherfucker serious? And Tripper's like, yeah, dog, I think he is.
All right, come on. So somebody's about to get to fight, right? And this guy approached those guys, and he stopped and decided to hit him up, ask him where he was from. Come on, let let me tell you something about Rascal, man. The only fight that he ever got in Juvenile, it was basically he was doing a test. He was doing a test, and a girl from what was she from Tokers? From Tokers. Tokers took off on him. He fought back, but she took off on him because he was doing a test. That's the first time he ever was out of that unit. Because again, he was an I unit the whole time on a lockdown. He was able to move around because he was not uh he didn't have issues like the other kids in that unit, you know. They had pretty bad issues, man. So it is crazy how right here he's talking a good one, man, but when he was in juvie, it was a whole different spiel, you know.